You're listening to 834's award-winning podcast, The Happy Hour Hustle. We offer listeners the chance to experience the musings, or ramblings depending on how many glasses of wine she's had, of the one and only Kimberly J. Bodie as she interviews notable clients, upstanding community members, and random passerby. Nominations and awards pending.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of Happy Hour Hustle. I'm really excited about this series that we're doing right now, which is focused on small businesses. Small Business Saturday is coming up on November 24th. So on our previous episode, we had Gina Van Timmeren from Gina's Boutique chat about, well, what it's like to be in business for 14 years and, you know, the state of retail in Grand Rapids, as well as how much downtown has changed. So if you have not heard that yet or downloaded it, please do so. Today we're talking with Mike Hanrahan. Did I say it right?
You got it.
Yes. I have it phonetically spelled out on a piece of paper, but that didn't mean I was going to get it right. And he's with Bylenga, Hulst, which is a law firm here, local law firm here. And I think one of the things I struggled with the most when I started my business was, well, there's no handbook. You have literally no idea, like, all the services that you need, or, you know, you just know you have this idea, you're going to improve, like, whatever, and you're going to do great. But then you're like, oh, there's all this other stuff I don't understand. So one of the things that I really want to talk about today is all, like, the spectrum of services that you offer, or the spectrum of services that really small business owners need, and then what it's like to work with a law firm if you don't know. And so welcome, Mike. I'm very excited that you're here.
Thank you, Kim. I really appreciate you having me.
So tell us, or me, I was like me, so there are people listening, about Bylenga Hulst.
So we're a relatively smaller firm. You know, law firms pretty much comes in sizes of small, medium, and large, just like your clothing, pretty much. But we only have 7 attorneys in our office, 3 paralegals, so by all means, pretty small. We have a nice mix of attorneys in that there are 4 attorneys that are under the age of 40, and there are 3 over the age of 60. So depending on what you're looking for, we pretty much have everything there
you have the
to
age
meet
spectrum.
the expectations. Yeah. So we specialize in just a few different areas of law, really smaller niche areas. We're not a catch-all, do-it-all firm, but I do the boring stuff, I say. I do transactional work, which means business work, tax, and bankruptcy or restructuring. So all the boring stuff, but it's always good for my clients.
And really that covers everything small businesses need. We hope you don't need the bankruptcy, but if you do...
The business and tax stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so how is Chase different? I mean, you kind of talked a little bit about your size, and I think that's very intentional for you. You don't want your clients to feel lost in the shuffle. You want them to have a relationship with you. And a lot of times those clients are with you for forever.
That's a goal, generally. I mean, you want relationships with your clients. I think some of that, in my personal opinion, gets a little bit lost in some law firms. I'm not going to sit here and say names, but there's a strong need for people that want to develop relationships with their attorneys. And just like you said, when you're a business, depending on what stage of the business life cycle you're in, that can change what your needs are with an attorney. So if you have someone that's with you for a very long time, that certainly helps. There's a lot of firms out there that say, well, I specialize in maybe just starting up a business, but I don't specialize in doing contracts. I don't specialize in, you know, mergers or selling your business. And you have to jump around quite a bit. One of the things that we specifically do is basically take you through the lifetime and the life cycle of a business. So that's one thing that we're a little bit different on in that aspect.
Right. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today too. So like when you start your business, what are some things that you need to think about? And I think what's so great about Bylenga Hulst is the fact that when you own a small business, individuals like your lawyer or say your accountant or whatever, they really need to have a seat at the table, and they really almost serve as your advisory board. Like, here's what you need to consider, here's the things that we need to have in place, all of that stuff. So you're really there to counsel on all the things that, quite frankly, like someone like myself would never even realize. So when you talk about starting a business, what are some legal considerations there?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. There's a number of them, but just to kind of go down the route that you're talking about, you know, 834, you guys are great at marketing, you're great at communications, you're great at what you do, but I'm sure you don't have a staff accountant here.
No.
I'm sure you don't have an in-house counsel here. Those are the type of things that really go a long way. A lot of people start a business, and they have a great idea, and they're really good at doing it, or like you said earlier, you can take that idea and just blow it up and make it something much better than what's currently out there. The problem is most of those people don't have the business acumen to be able to take it through, hey, I need to keep an accurate record of my books.
Right.
I need to pay taxes. Depending
Darn those
on
taxes.
Well, if it wasn't for them,
Right.
I wouldn't be in business.
Well, that's true. It's true.
But on top of that, what type of business do I want to set up? Do I just want to put out a shingle and have my name on it, and then people come to me? Do I need protection from creditors? People are going to come after me and try and sue me if I do something wrong. There are tax advantages for different types of businesses, and those are all things that most people don't know, and that's why they need to turn to professionals for.
Well, and that's, even us having, we needed to draft a contract that our clients could sign that, so when we started in that outline payment terms and all sorts of other things, and I had no idea where to start. And, so many people I think will just Google it and think, well, I can just,
exactly.
But it's very similar to when we got our space. You have to sign a lease, and I'm reading through it, and I was like, "Is this written so nobody will ever understand it?" And the answer to that is yes. But that's when you go to your lawyer and you say, "Is there anything here you don't want a personal guarantee, all of this? There's things that you just need to stay away from that you can counsel on."
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects, especially a contract. One of the biggest things that I see for my clients are contracts on a daily basis. Most people, you're right, do just jump online and pull something off, but there's a lot of pitfalls. What I always tell my clients is my job is to guard against the 0.01% chance that something is going to go wrong.
Because it will.
Or if it hasn't, you just want to protect yourself. You want to say, hey, if there's an issue that ever comes up between yourself and the person that you're contracting with, it's resolved. If we have an issue, it's right in the contract. We know that it's taken care of. It's something even as simple as, hey, if you pull a contract on Google, if there's an issue, how does it get resolved?
Right.
Is it governed by the laws of Michigan? Do you fight it out in court? Do you go see a mediator? What happens? People just don't think about these things on a daily basis.
Well, that's because you don't want to think about the what ifs. But owning a business is honestly, that's what you need to wake up and be doing. You need to be thinking about the what ifs. There's everything from non-competes to, the list goes on and on and on. And that's why I think, if there's one piece of advice I can give you is form a relationship with, a lawyer, and that person is gonna protect you, and hopefully they'll go out and get beers with you, and they'll be cool, which you guys are. So you actually have a really nice little outdoor area.
We have a nice outdoor area, and we actually have a bar in the office.
Oh my
gosh. That really goes hand in hand.
Yeah, we're going there afterwards. It's fine. We're actually recording this there. No, we're not. I wish. What else? What other advice do you have for small businesses?
Well, I think that's the biggest one is form a relationship. A lot of people are scared. Number one, it's not just, hey, I don't know who to reach out to. But number two, it's the cost.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, well, if I'm starting off a business, it's really cost prohibitive to go and get an accountant, to get an attorney, to get any sort of advisor to move forward on things. The ultimate benefit to you in the long run is well worth it. I've had clients that have had to unfortunately go through litigation, and the cost just to get through litigation can be tens of thousands of dollars very quickly. But had there been a contract in place, or had they started up their business in the right way, those things wouldn't have happened, and they would have been in the hole for a large amount of money. But on top of that, there's a lot of different law firms that will charge cheaper rates right up front. There's some that set you up on payment plans on a monthly basis that will accompany any of your needs. And that's one of the things that I do. I say, well, for getting off the ground for a small business, I might charge you $100 a month for the first year, and then from there it might go up. Well, $1,200 you can get unlimited time with an attorney for the first year. But there's different ways to set that up. It's not just the only thing. But you can find attorneys, you can find accountants that are willing to work with you through, again, your business life cycle for whatever stage you're at.
Well, and I think if you're a small business owner, just ask the question. I think we have the mentality that we should know everything, and your business is going to be much better served when you admit that you don't, and that you need to surround yourself with smarter people, like someone like yourself that can counsel you on a regular basis. If I had to actually process payroll, no one would get paid. I'd be like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, you do need to hire people that can offset, let you focus on what you're good at, which is, whatever service you're delivering. And the other thing too, I think, I'm 12 years into this, stuff that I have to think about is like succession planning or like do I have an estate plan? And that's all stuff that you guys assist with too.
Yeah, well, I mean, if someone came to you and said, hey, I'm going to offer you $10 million for
Right.
834, maybe you
Are you
would,
making
maybe
an
you
offer?
wouldn't.
Okay.
I'm not.
Yeah,
but
okay,
if
well.
someone did, that's where you might get a hold of me and say, yeah, I think I want to move forward with this.
Right.
How do I go about it? And again, I mean, anytime you get into contracts, it gets really detailed. I mean, you're trying to guard against the 0.01% chance
Right.
something goes wrong. But you bring up, some really good points as far as being a business owner and not necessarily knowing everything. Well, even us as attorneys, I don't know everything about a merchandising a merchandising company or even a marketing company. There's a lot of ins and outs, and that's why it's important to have that relationship because I'm learning too. When I get in there with a client, I actually go in, meet with the client, see what they do on a day-to-day basis, and your attorney or an accountant should do that as well to try to get a better understanding of how things operate and exactly what things you need to worry about.
Well, before we wrap up, and then I want you to let people know how they can get a hold of you. What's one of your favorite things about Grand Rapids?
Oh, so I have been in Grand Rapids for eight years. I originally moved here from upstate New York, and I was lucky enough to land a job right out of school. My favorite thing, I think, is probably a little bit of an all-encompassing aspect of it. It's just how quickly everything is growing.
Yeah.
So moving here 2010, I lived at the end of Commerce in Wealthy, and there was nothing there.
Yeah.
There was hardly anything. I would walk one block to law school every day, and I'd be good to go. But just seeing it blow up in that period of time, it's just such a short period of time. It is a city, but it's still a small city. Unless you try to leave at about 5 o'clock and get on 196. But I just love how quickly everything is growing. The way that I equate, as I say, for people back in New York, I say it's kind of like a much quicker growing Buffalo or Rochester, because that's kind of the area that I'm from. People kind of get it then. That's my favorite thing about Grand Rapids, just watching it grow and expand and being a part of it.
Yeah, it is pretty exciting, isn't it? I know, because when I mean, not to turn this into what was Grand Rapids, but I remember when I started working in GR, there was one medical building, and I worked in it. It was a Cook DeVos Center for Health Sciences, and then all of a sudden you're like, what happened? It's just completely blown up. Now people actually go downtown for dinner. I mean, for the longest time, people never went downtown. It would be out to the East Beltline or whatever, and and we have parking issues, which is true, but that's a testament to the city growing and us prospering. So that's pretty exciting. And the great small businesses that are here. See how I tied that all together? Yep, I did. Okay, Mike, so share how people can get a hold of Chase Bylenga Hulst and then yourself specifically.
Yeah, so our firm, like I said, is located downtown. We are 1 block south of the intersection of Division and Fulton.
Close to Rockwell Republic.
Close to Rockwell and Republic at 25 Division, and we're on the 5th floor, Suite 500. Otherwise, you can email me. I'm always available by email. Like most people, I have my phone on me and constantly checking it, much to my wife's displeasure. But my email address is Mike, M-I-K-E, at chasebylenga.com, and that's ChaseBylenga.com. So
literally, it's spelled just how it's pronounced.
Yeah,
so,
I know, that's a little bit of a mouthful.
Unlike your last name. No, no, not to shame you. So just a reminder, everyone, November 24th is Small Business Saturday, so get out there and support those local small businesses. If you are a small business, know that you are not alone, and there are great resources like, Chase Bylenga Hulst out there that will help you in whatever stage of your business in, starting, growing, leaving, quite frankly. So thanks again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we'll have to have you on again. Maybe it'll be like a
come over
rapid
for
fire.
drinks?
Yeah, let's just do that. Yeah, never mind. We won't let you guys sit there and listen, but thanks for joining us for Happy Hour Hustle.